All right, there's some Tony Robbins for you this Friday morning. I just dropped the link in there, a little Tony Robbins for you. A lot of this stuff, again, we're not teaching new things all the time. There's not things you haven't heard probably, but you just heard Tony say it. Are we doing what we know? Right? Knowledge is not power, right? It's apply, you got to apply the knowledge. You can't just be the person that says, "Yeah, I've heard that. I know that." Do you? Because if you know it, are you doing it? Right? It's not good enough to just know something. Can you do this? I follow Dr. Darius Daniels as a pastor, and he always says, right, like you're not deep if you can't do the work that it says we need to do, right? You're not deep because you can quote scripture. You're deep because you do the work of it, right? Like that's the key. It's not just the knowledge of it, it's do we do this? And so, same thing in your personal life, same thing in your personal development, same thing in all these things, right? It's not a matter of like, yeah, I know I should eat better, like, but do you do it? I know I should read the book, but do you do it? Right? Like that's really what this comes down to. It's not about the applied, it's not about the knowledge, it's about the applied knowledge. Talked about repetition in there. You've heard that saying, repetition is the mother of skill, right? Like he talked about Michael Jordan in that video, right? Repetition is power. I just love that he looked at those numbers. He said, "Hey, he took over 4 million shots in practice in order to make 24,000 shots in the game." Known as, right, potentially the greatest basketball player of all time, showing you, hey, this is what it takes, the repetition to do a small portion of that to be great, right? So same thing in our personal life, same thing in our personal development life, like same thing in your business life. It's all the same stuff. How many shots are you taking in order to just do a portion of it? Right? You do, if Michael Jordan only took 1 million shots, he might have only made 10,000 shots in the game, and he would not be the greatest of all time. But because he had the work, because he had the work ethic, because he kept doing the repetition over and over again, it put him in a position that now, real time, he can go off and he could be one of the greatest. So, repetition is power. Understanding your patterns. Tony Robbins in there said something that we are not our patterns, but our patterns have what are what led us to be where we are right now, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, like all this stuff. It's our patterns, it's our habits, it's the things that we do repeatedly, that we have done repeatedly. So again, this is why he even preaches, right? We're changing your thinking, right? We're changing your thinking. We're not necessarily changing who you are. We're not changing you, but we're changing your thinking because then it'll change your patterns. It'll change your habits to get you to the life that you want, right? You got to understand that distinction. You don't need to change your habits, need to change. And how do we change habits? We change thought that comes before the habit. So that's why we're attacking the thinking, ladies and gentlemen. But the patterns are key. Knowledge without execution will burn you out, right? Just having a bunch of knowledge and not executing, right? You get in that mindset, get burnt out. He talked about uh, giving it your all, right? Practicing giving it your all. I used to say it this way: when's the last time you gave anything, everything? Right? I talk about to people that want to come into business with me, and sometimes they're always like, I just want to do, like, I'll come in when I can give it 100%. And I'm always curious to ask the question. I don't normally, but I'm always curious to ask the question, when's the last time you gave anything, everything? Like, when's the last time you gave 100% at your job, in your relationship, in your finance? Like, when's the last time you gave 100%? This is why ET always talks about, Eric Thomas always talks about giving 120%, because most people are only given 60, 70, 80% to their life, to the things they say are important. So, when's the last time you gave anything, everything you got? But you have to practice that, right? All of these are patterns, all of these are habits, all of these are things that we do over time. If you have found a way to only give 50% in your relationships, you probably only give 50% at your job, or you probably only give 50% in this, or right? Like it becomes a pattern. How we do anything is how we do everything. So, when's the last time you gave anything, everything? Practicing giving it your all. I wrote down game speed in basketball, right? And if you played sports and you practice, there would be a time in practice that coach would tell you game speed, not practice speed, game speed, like real time, as if you were in a game. That's how you have to do this drill. That's how you have to practice. So, same exact thing. When you're practicing giving it your all, that's game speed. That's real time. That's moving as fast as you can to simulate this environment that you're trying to create so that when that environment comes, you know how to handle it. Hope that makes sense. Three things that Tony Robbins talked about to master: cognitive mastery, then emotional mastery, then physical mastery. Cognitive mastery is first you understanding it. Emotional mastery is then you feel it and think it. It comes with the energy and repetition of doing something. And then you have the physical mastery where you can just do it, where it's just natural. It's second nature to you. It's just what we know. But that's the process of mastering anything, mastering your emotions primarily. Is first you got to understand how, right? The cognitive part of it, that's where it starts, the cognitive part. Then we have to get to the emotional part. And this is where a lot of people struggle because this is the repetition, this is what Tony's talking about. This is the repetitive part. This is the doing the things over and over and over and over, right? The same things and not stopping and not losing excitement and having energy for it and just keep going and doing that thing. Keep reading the books with the same amount of fervor that you had in the beginning. Keep starting the business, doing the things in the business with the same energy and repetition that you would in the beginning, right? Like that is the place, the emotional mastery of this, so that it can link, so that you're retraining your nervous system, Ron. So you're retraining it emotionally, right? Like, because you're doing something different. And then you have the physical mastery where your nervous system just knows, your body just knows. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're doing. That's how we master any of the things. And we have to keep this in mind. Again, for us to go off and design our ideal life, we have to become masters of certain things, specifically masters of our own emotions, masters of ourself, masters of our own mindset, of our own action, right? Like we're becoming masters of ourself. In the text, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets, I chose this chapter that says champions always strive for greater competence, right? Just learning how to do things, right? How to be more competent in something. I think, I don't know if it's in this chapter or if I had somebody tell me, like a mentor or somebody tell me, right? Like competence breeds confidence, right? Competence breeds confidence. And if you want to go after your ideal life, the life you don't need a break from, you're going to need supreme confidence to do it, to be confident. So, how do we get to the confident side? We need competence, right? We need competence to get to the confident side. So that comes in this mastery, in this repetition, in this how we continue to do every, right? Like can continue to do the things that are necessary. Here's what it says in the text. It says, amateur performers are often good at memorizing and learning bits of pieces of information just as they were taught in school. Champions know memorizing data in the information age is worth about as much as the cost to purchase a computer and log onto the internet. Champions are focused on becoming competent at what they do and leave the information gathering to someone else. While the masses worry about job security and the return of poor economic conditions, which is happening right now, literally, uh, champions spend time building and improving their attitude, skills, and knowledge in their chosen field. This laser guided focus channels energy directly to the building blocks of their competency. This approach puts professional performers in constant demand from corporations and organizations searching for people with world-class habits. So while amateurs stay up at night worrying about job security, the pros are quietly creating it through competence. The future belongs to the competent, but in their field and in terms of both in their field and in terms of controlling and directing their emotions. But then again, it always has, right? So again, are you focused on? Because we're always looking at what the champion focus on. The champion spends time building and improving their attitude, skill, and knowledge, the competence, the repetition, the cognitive mastery, then the emotional mastery, then the physical mastery. That's the focus. We're not focusing on the external, on the economic state, on the job, on the world, on all that. We're not focused on that. We're constantly focused on spending time to improve our attitude, our skills, and our knowledge. That's the game. That's how we build confidence, is through competence. And we're living through a time right now, ladies and gentlemen, that people aren't building competence, right? In improving their attitude, skills, and knowledge. So we have to, if you want to go off and design your ideal life, you want to get to a life you don't need a break from, you have that vision of the life that you desire. Now the work is building, improving your attitude first, emotions, right? Attitude. The only two things we can control are what? Our actions and our attitude. If you're always in a mood, you have a problem identifying your own attitude, controlling your own attitude. You're allowing other things to control your attitude. You are fully in control of that, your emotions. So, what are we doing to improve that? Ask yourself that question. If you always find yourself emotionally, right, kind of being pulled different directions, what are you doing? What are you doing in order to change that? And if you say, I'm going to change this thing in my environment, we're not thinking about it properly because you're still thinking your environment is what's controlling you. Oh, as soon as I leave this city, then I'll be able to be better. As soon as I leave this family, then I'll be, as soon as I leave this job, then I'll be able to, as soon as I leave, like it's that's the mindset. That means you don't have control over it. That thing has control over you. And if you think that, you have to follow you everywhere you go. So as soon as you leave that job, you still got to sit with you. And it's going to be another thing. As soon as you leave that city, right, you're going to have to sit with you. So are you focused on improving your attitude, improving the control of your emotions? Again, it says the future belongs to the competent, both in their field and in terms of controlling and directing their emotions. If you're competent in controlling and directing your emotions, the world is your oyster. You can handle anything. You can have the capacity to handle anything. See, the reason most people can is because we don't control our emotions well. So there's things we don't want to feel. There's things we constantly feel, right? That we don't change. This is a matter of getting competent in understanding your emotions and understanding and directing and controlling your emotions and your attitude. You can look at the skill level, improving your skills. Like just from a competent, like many of you have a skill set that is trying to produce you income, right? Whether you're in business with me, whether you're in your own business, any of those things, you have you're creating a skill set that is actually trying to produce you money. So guess what we should be focused on? Improving that skill set. How do we do that? We just heard Tony say it. Repetition and energy. That's it. It's a very simple formula. How often are you doing something with what type of energy? And if you just do it over and over again, you will improve your skills in that area, your competency in that area, which will lead to confidence in that area. And for those of you that are in business, you know you need confidence to go have that conversation, to go ask that thing, to go share that vision, to go do something. So, where does that come from? It comes from you working and repeating, having the repetition. It's all pretty simple, y'all. I know, easier said than done. Not telling you all this stuff is easy. It's just simple. It's going to be worth it. We got to improve our knowledge. That's the cognitive mastery part. But the reason why this is important, y'all, is because I need you to focus. If you're going to go off and design your ideal life, I need you to focus on the things you can control. Don't focus on the economic landscape. Don't focus on the things around you. Take this time to get competent. Even if you did want to continue to improve, right? Like, or move jobs or careers or those things, it'll come in your level of competency. I used to say this, and I actually still say this to people. We get paid to the level of our skill set. Okay. Just from a money standpoint, y'all, you know, I'm a money guy, right? So just we get paid to the level of our skill set. See, we got diluted. We thought that like the job just pays us because, right, we work well, but they just pay you for your time. And your time, right? Like there's a rate that they want to pay you for your time, right? That's all, right? It's like, hey, it doesn't matter who you are. If you fit into this skill set, this is the rate you get. If you improve your skill sets, you would improve your money, right? You'd make more money. The person that's a CEO that makes $15 million probably has a better skill set than the person that is the hourly employee. Doesn't mean they can't get that skill set, but they probably have a better leadership skill set, communication skill set, sales skill set, marketing skill set, whatever it is. They probably have a better skill set than the person that makes less. Guess what? If you want to make more, raise your skill set. It's that simple. We think going back to school raises a skill set, but it doesn't, right? It gives you more knowledge. It doesn't raise a skill set. Improving your skill set, competence comes with what? Repetition, doing something over and over and over and over and over again. Not doing it once, passing the test, getting the degree, and saying we got it. Because we don't. It's the repetition. We got to remember this stuff, y'all. This isn't magic. This isn't magic. This isn't like a magic pill. This is very like success leaves clues. This is why we do this. Success leaves clues. You want to be successful? Follow what other successful people have done. Become a master copycat. Okay, they thought about it this way. I'm going to do that exact thing. You're an athlete. MJ shot 4 million shots. He make 500 shots every practice. I want to play basketball. I want to be in the NBA. I'm going to make 500 shots a day. 500 shots per practice. I'm gonna practice twice, just like MJ did. And guess what? You'll get very similar results. You might not be as talented as him. You might not have the height. You might not have all the things, but you will be competent because you've done something the same amount of times. And if you give it the same amount of energy, you'll get the same results. Pick any area of your life. You want to be supremely fit. You want to make money. You want to have great relationships. Like whatever it is that you want to make happen, you find people that have done that. You see the success. You know that people have done that. Then just copy what they've done. And normally it's going to come in their attitude, and their skills, and their knowledge. And that gap is why they're there and we're where we are. That's it. Real simple stuff. Question is, are you going to do that? Is this what you're focused on every day? Or does life keep pulling you this way? So this day you're focused over here, and we're not really focused on improving our attitude, our skills, and our knowledge today because this whole thing took us away from it. So today was a day we didn't improve any of those things. And then we start a little bit, and then next week we're focused on this over here. So we can't really improve our skills and our attitude and our knowledge. And with that start and stop, year after year, week after week, month after month, right? We're just starting and stopping. It's hard for us to build competence. So it's hard for us to get confident. So it's hard for us to change our habits to get to the life that we want. But if we could just start here, just come back down and say, hey, I got to start doing this stuff. I got to start focusing on just improving my attitude, my skills, my knowledge, just doing this over and over again, just doing the hard things over and over again so life can get easier, so I can get more competent. If we just focus on that, I promise you, you're going to be able to build to the life that you desire. I promise it. Here's the action step for today. It says, list the 3 most important activities in which you must continue to develop competence. The 3 most important activities which you must develop competence. Make a commitment to invest a set number of hours per week. Make a commitment to invest a set number of hours per week beyond your normal working hours to study. 1 hour of extra study per day in your chosen field would make you a national expert in 5 years or less. At the end of the day, you guys got to know this is just a matter of repetition. Whatever you continuously do over and over and over again becomes a habit. We just all have some habits that aren't getting us to where we want to go. So guess what we got to do? We got to change some of those habits. Well, how do we do that? Got to change what we're thinking about and how we're thinking about it so that we can change those things, y'all. You guys know it. I always tell y'all this. It's never going to be easy. None of this stuff is easy. I hope you understand that. But it's going to be worth it, right? It's going to be worth it for you continuing to learn and grow and become the man or woman God called you to be. You got to go through this hard stuff. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. Remember, no one ever tells you. I'm going to tell you, right? People are counting on you. They're counting on you to get this information and do something with it. They're counting on you to improve your attitude, your skills, your knowledge, so you could pass that down, so you can, right, like have the capacity to handle this life you're asking for. But you got to go out there and do the work, ladies and gentlemen. Do something that scares you this weekend. Don't make Saturday like last Saturday, right? Have a different conversation. Do something different. Don't just run errands. Don't just run errands on Saturday. Don't just do the thing, right? Go do something that scares you and watch how your future self thanks you for it. All right. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday.